Hello and welcome back to Math 8. This is a video over section 6, and we're going to be graphing in a variety of contexts. So we're going to be able to construct and analyze graphs given two components of a linear function, and we're going to estimate y-intercepts on a graph. So the first thing I want to do is take a look, and what I know is that 2 points make a line. Okay, so what I want to do is graph the line that goes through the points -3, -2, and 1, 4. So -3, -2, and then 1, 4. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a line going in between those. Okay. And what we can do is we do have the ability to find the slope. Okay. We can do this using the stair-step model. So going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So rise up 6, go over 1, 2, 3, 4, go over 4. So our slope, we know, m is going to equal 6 over 4. Those divide down into 3 halves. Okay, so 3 halves is equal to my slope. Now the other thing that we can do is we can use our formula and do 4 minus -2 over 1 minus -3. Okay, and what that's going to give us is that you're going to give us 4 plus 2 over 1 plus 3, which gives us 6/4, which gives us 3 halves. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to estimate the y-intercept. Now here's what I've got. I could use the concept of 3 halves. Start here, go up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, plot a point. Okay, go up 1, 2, 3, go over 2, plot a point. Okay, now I don't have a necessary value for my y-intercept. Okay, so my y-intercept, we don't know. Okay, but we can at least estimate this. Okay, because it doesn't hit an exact point on the graph. What I want to do is at least say that b is equal to, say, we'll go with 2.3 for now. Okay, and what we would actually do is we would put the squiggly lines in there and say b is approximately 2.3. So to estimate, all right, what we want to write is that b is approximately equal to 2.3. All right, and that's what we'd use to find our y-intercept. Okay, vertical lines. Okay, vertical lines, graph the line that goes through the ordered pairs 1, 1, and 1, 6. Okay, so 1, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if I graph those lines, okay, I have a vertical line. Okay, now notice I'm going to plot these points 1, 1, and 1, 6. Notice that my x values are the same. Okay, now what we've talked about is we've talked about how we have a plus, positive slope, negative slope, zero slope, or undefined slope. Now, if I wanted to find the slope between these 2 points, okay, first of all, m would equal 6 minus 1 over 1 minus 1. So we'd get m is equal to 5 over 0, which is undefined. Okay, so we have an undefined slope, so we can't write anything in slope-intercept form. However, we do notice something else. The graph crosses the x-intercept. I have an x-intercept. That's where the graph crosses the x-axis at x equals 1. Therefore, my equation is simply where a vertical line crosses the x-axis, and that's going to be that x is equal to 1. Okay, and that's how we'd figure that out. We also have horizontal lines. Okay, now horizontal lines, all right, let's take a look at that. We got the point 0, -2. All right, that point there. And then the 6, -2. Okay. Now, if I graph these lines, okay, notice, remember we have positive slope, we have negative slope, we have zero slope, or we have undefined slope. This is where we have an undefined slope. Okay, let's look. All right. Let's calculate our slope. Let's do -2 minus -2 over 6 minus 0. Now, really what we get is we get -2 plus 2 over 6 minus 0. So we're going to get 0 over 6. Okay, so therefore my slope is just equal to 0. Okay, now, okay, we also notice a couple things. Okay, I notice that my y-intercept y-intercept is equal to -2. Okay, Now, a couple other things I know is I have the point 0, negative 2, and I have this other point 6, comma, negative 2. Okay. And so with those, notice that the y values are negative 2. All right, so I'm going to come in here and write that the y values are negative 2, okay, on this line. Now, a couple of other things, okay. I know that my y-intercept is negative 2. I know I have a slope of 0. So we can put this into slope-intercept form. I get y equals mx plus b. Let's plug in our numbers. I get y is equal to 0x plus negative 2. Well, if I take 0 times x, that's just going to give me 0. So 0 minus 2, and then I have y equals negative 2. This is our equation. Now, much like what we had up in the top part, for this other one with x equals 1, okay, a horizontal line crosses the y-axis. Wherever it crosses the y-axis, that is simply our equation, okay? And that's what we can do, all right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph this line with a slope of 3/2, and it goes to the point negative 5. So I'm going to plot that point here first, okay? So just given the information that I have, plot negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's my point, okay? Negative 4, 5, negative 5. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the slope m equals 3/2. So I'm going to rise up 3. So 1, 2, 3, go over 2. 1, 2, plot a point. Same thing here. Go up 1, 2, 3, go over 1, 2. All right, and I keep doing this stair step, okay, until I don't have a stair step anymore. And then I'm going to draw a line. Okay, now what I know is that it wanted us to estimate the y-intercept, but if we look here, the y-intercept occurs at y equals 1. Okay, so here's what I know, that b is equal to 1. So if I have my slope m, y-intercept b, I can write my equation, okay, y is equal to 3/2 x plus 1. Okay, knowing that. All right, let's talk a little bit more about lines with a slope of 0. Okay, remember we either have a positive slope, negative slope, a 0 slope, or an undefined slope. All right, so we're going to be using this value there. So the point negative 4, negative 5, so down over 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And with a 0 slope, it's just going to be a horizontal line. Okay, now what I notice is that this crosses the graph. Okay, I have a y-intercept at negative 5. Okay, so here's what I got. I can write my equation as simply just y equals negative 5, and that's it. Okay, all right, let's talk about lines with no slope. Okay, remember, note positive slope, negative slope, 0 slope, or undefined slope. Okay, and what I can do is I can plot that point at 2, 3. All right, and if I have an undefined slope, that means I'm going to have a vertical line, and that's going to have an x-intercept at x equals 2. Okay, so what I can do, all right, that's what I notice. What I can do is I can write an equation, and I can say that x is equal to 2, okay? And that's what I've got, all right? So that's what I've got, all right? So it's mainly just, are you able to look at a graph, identify those pieces of information, and then write the equation. So that's all I got for this. We'll talk to you in a bit. Thanks a lot. Bye.